Okay, hello everyone, how are you all? So we have received some questions from the GATE 21 Chemical Engineering. So we'll be solving some memory based questions here. I hope that your GATE 21 was very good and you are getting a lot of marks, right? You are getting very good marks in GATE 21. The level of the paper it was moderate level, not a very difficult level, right? Some questions were tricky, but although it was a moderate level, it was not a very difficult paper. So we have got some questions, so I will be solving some questions from the mathematics. So let us start with the mathematics directly, the maths portion. The first question that we have got in mathematics is that, so some differential equation was given, right? Some differential equation was given. I guess this was the differential equation, that is d cube y, question number 1, d cube y dx cube plus 6d square y by dx square plus 11 dy by dx plus 6 is equal to 1. I guess this was the equation, and we have to find the value of this y, right? The value of this y, you have to find it. Okay, so this was the question. First of all, let us solve this question, then we will apply the condition also, whatever the condition is given. So it is a higher order derivative equation. So dear students, first of all, we can write down the auxiliary equation. Auxiliary equation. Now what will be the auxiliary equation? Auxiliary equation will be equal to this m cube, because we know that in the higher order derivative, this d by dx can be written as this capital D, and if you just put it as capital D, so it will become d cube plus 6d square plus 11d and plus 6 will be equal to 1, right? Okay, and the auxiliary equation will be in terms of m, so m cube plus 6m square plus 11m plus 6 will be equal to 0. This is the auxiliary equation. The solution of this type of differential equation is y is equal to the complementary function plus the particular integral. This is the solution of these types of equations. Now the only thing that you have to do in this question is to find the factors. One factor you can clearly see. If you put m is equal to minus 1, so minus 1 plus 6 will be minus 5, right? This will be plus minus 11 and plus 6 will be minus 5, right? It is 5 and it will be minus 5. 5 and minus 5, it will be 0. You can clearly see that if you put m is equal to minus 1, you are getting it as 0. So one factor is minus 1. So the second factor you can get it like this, that is m cube plus 6m square plus 11m and plus 6, and one factor is m plus 1 that we have got, because m minus 1 it will come here, it will be m plus 1. Let us multiply it with m square. M square, it will be m cube plus m square. Subtract it, this will be cancelled out, it will be 5m square plus 11m and plus 6. Let us do one thing, plus 5m. So it will be plus 5m square plus 5m. Subtract it, it will be 6m plus 6. Plus 6 here, again it will be 6m plus 6. It will be cancelled out and you will be getting 0. So what are the various factors we have? So we have one factor for this auxiliary equation as m plus 1, and in bracket we have m square plus 5m plus 6 is equal to 0. You can further break this. So that will be equal to m plus 1, and this will be equal to 3 into 2 is 6 and 3 plus 2 is 5. So it will be m plus 2 and m plus 3 is equal to 0. So what will the complementary function? The complementary function CF will be equal to C1 e raised to the power m1x plus m2x plus m3x plus so on, right? Now m1 will be equal to minus 1, m2 will be equal to minus 2, m3 will be equal to minus 3. So it will be e raised to power minus x plus C2 e raised to power minus 2x plus C3 e raised to power minus 3x. So this is the complementary function. That is equation number 1, let us say. So it is equation number 1. Now next thing what we have to do is that we have to find the PI. Now what is the meaning of PI? So PI is the Q of x divided by The function of d, if you remember. That is the right hand side divided by the left hand side. So whatever was the right hand side was just 1, right? So d cube plus 6d square plus 6d plus 11d plus 6 is equal to 1 it was, right? In the main equation. So 1 divided by, it will be d cube plus 6d square plus 11d and plus 6. Now how to solve it? It can be solved by two ways. Either you take 6 common and expand it in the binomial expansion with the help of binomial expansion. We have already done all these things in the class. Or there is one more method. This thing, the numerator can also be written as e raised to the power 0x. Can be written as. Clear? Now, so whenever you have this thing, that is qx divided by f of d, okay, and this qx, it is basically e raised to the power ax. We used to replace this d with a until and unless this f of d is not equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, then we had to apply, we had to do some other thing, okay, by derivating the numerator, the x raised to the power n divided by n factorial, all those things. So, but here if you put 0 plus 0 plus 0, it is not equal to 0. So, instead of d, if you put 0 here, so 0, 0, 0 and 1 by 6. So, it will be 1 by 6. So, particular integral is 1 by 6. Now, what will be the total solution of this equation? The total solution of this equation will be equal to CF plus PI. And again, it is a memory based question. The values might change. In the comment section, you also tell me whether it is a correct question or not, because that is what we have received till now. So, y will be equal to complementary function plus the particular integral. So, that will be equal to, what is the CF here? That is C1 e raised to the power minus x plus C2 e raised to the power minus 2x plus C3 e raised to the power minus 3x and plus the particular integral, that is 1 by 6. That is the total equation that we have got. Now, there was some boundary condition given. Now, what was the boundary condition? Let me check it. What was the condition given in this question? Yeah, so this was the condition. So, we have to find the value, of y at x equal to infinite. At x equal to infinity, you have to find the value of this y. Now, students, if you put this x equal to infinity here, e raised to the power minus infinity is 0. This will also be 0. This will also be 0. This will also be 0. So, the value of y at this infinity will be equal to 0, 0, 0. It will be just 1 by 6. So, 1 by 6 will be the correct answer of this question. This question can also be solved with the help of Laplace. You just take the Laplace on both the sides, you will be getting the answer. So, you can solve this question either by the normal differential equation method or by the Laplace, whatever you want to get, you will be getting the answer. So, this is the first question that we have received in mathematics. And also, if you remember some other question, just put it in the comment section. We will be solving that question also. One more question, students are saying that there was a matrix question, okay, there was a 4 by 4 matrix, some students are saying, so you had to calculate the rank of the matrix. So students, if you want to calculate the rank of the matrix, just convert the matrix in the echelon form, right? So what is the echelon form? So for example, if it is a 4 cross 4 matrix, so that will be equal to starting with 1, right? 1 something something something, then this will be 0. The next row will be starting with 1. Once you convert it in the echelon form, the number of non-zero rows will be equal to the rank of the matrix. And students are saying that the rank of the matrix was coming out to be equal to 3. So we have not yet received the complete question. If you will receive the complete question, we will solve that question also. But the students are saying that sir, the rank is coming out to be equal to 3. And these types of questions I also solved a few days back when I did the preview of the examinations which have already been conducted by IIT GATE Bombay. If you have watched that particular lecture which is available on YouTube, you will find that all these types of questions have already been asked in some other papers also. Okay, so rank was coming out to be equal to 3. The one more question that we have received is that, so rate of convergence was also asked. The rate of convergence was also asked for the Newton-Raphson method, and in class I have also derived it, by the way. So the rate of convergence of Newton-Raphson method is 2. Now, what is the meaning of rate of convergence? So, what is the ratio of the error in n plus 1th term divided by the ratio of error in the nth term? So, epsilon n plus 1 divided by the epsilon n minus epsilon n, it was coming out to be equal to 2. We also derived that thing in the class also. the rate of convergence of the Newton-Raphson method, and the answer will be equal to 2. By the way, the rate of convergence of the bisection method is 1 by 2. That also we have done, right? So that was the question from the rate of convergence. Apart from it, dear students, we have received one more question in mathematics, that you can call it mathematics or you can call it general aptitude, whatever you want to call it. So there was a question, this was given that L is equal to alpha c raised to the power beta. Alpha and beta are some unknowns, right? And some conditions are also given, that is L is 60 when c is equal to 2 into 10 raised to the power 4. L is 70 when c is 6 into 10 raised to the power 4. And again I am repeating, these are the memory based questions, the values might change. So you just comment in the comment section that whether the values are same or not. So you have to find the value of L if c is equal to 10 raised to the power 5. This question can also be done in n number of ways. The first way can be, just put the conditions, that is L is equal to 60, you do not know the value alpha, 2 into 10 raised to the power 4, right, raised to the power beta. Either you can take the logarithm, get the value of alpha, okay, and beta, you will make the equation, or 70 is equal to alpha 6 into 10 raised to the power 4 raised to the power beta, and then you have to find the value of this thing, right? You can divide these two things. You can divide these two things. If you divide these two things, you will be getting 7 by 6 will be equal to 6 into 10 raised to the power 4 into beta divided by 2 into 10 raised to the power 4 into beta. You will be getting the value of beta from here. You will be getting the value of beta. Once you get the value of beta, so I have calculated it, you can take the log also, whatever you want to do. So beta is coming out to be equal to nearly 0.14. Once you get the value of beta, you can put the value of beta either in this equation or this equation, you will be getting the value of alpha. The value of alpha is coming out to be nearly 14.99, or you can say that alpha is coming out to nearly 15. You will be getting the value of alpha, you will be getting the value of beta. Now you have to find the value of L at this particular thing. So L will be equal to alpha, that is 15, into c raised to the power beta, c is 10 raised to the power 5, raised to the power beta, that is 0.14. If you solve it, L is coming out to be nearly 75. You can call it an aptitude question also, you can call it a mathematics question also, whatever you want to call it. So that can be solved by n number of methods. One more method is also there. You take the logarithm in this equation, you take the logarithm in this equation, then solve the two equations, get the value of alpha and beta. That also you can do it. But that will be a lengthy method, by the way. So these are the mathematics questions that we have received till now, dear students. Now let us move to the fluid mechanics portion. So whatever questions we have received till now in fluid mechanics, let us solve that. And if you have any other question which you feel that that was also there in the examination, if you exactly remember the question, put it in the comment section, we will also solve it. Okay, so the first question that we have received from the fluid mechanics portion, it was a very easy question. It was based on manometry, by the way. So the question was, that has been asked, the question was, just wait a second, yeah, this was the question. Yeah, this was the question, students. So some tank was given to you. On the left hand side, some tank was given. This was a tank. This was a tank. And the tank was divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Okay, again it is a memory based question, the values might change, okay, please. So it was 2 centimeter. Again it was from here to here, again it was 2 centimeter. Okay, again it was 2 centimeter. And then it was 4 centimeter. Then it was 4 centimeter. So we had different fluids here. So some fluid is here, some fluid is here, right, some fluid is here. The specific gravity of this fluid, it was 1. The specific gravity of this fluid, it was 2. The specific gravity of this fluid was also 2. and the specific gravity of this fluid was 3, which was at the bottom. So we had 3 fluids, specific gravity 1 to 3, it was 2 to 2, right? And there was a glass tube coming from here, yes, here. There was a glass tube, and it was not an inclined, it was not a vertical glass tube, it was an inclined glass tube. So obviously, and this angle was given as 60 degree. Obviously, we know that from the Pascal's law, if you apply the Pascal's law or the hydrometry or the manometry, whatever you want to apply, so the pressure will always be on the vertical glass tube, not the inclined glass tube. These types of questions we have already solved in the class, by the way, right? So the fluid will go up to, let us say, somewhere here, and in the question it is given that it is L. So actually you have to find this value of L. Very simple, right? Just apply the left, let us say it is the left limb and it is the right limb. How will you calculate it? So it will be rho, that is 1000 into 1 into G, that is 9.81, rho into G into H. H is how much? That is 4 centimeter. So 4 divided by 100 meters. Plus rho 2, that is 2 into 1000 into 9.81 into, it is 2 centimeter divided by 100 meter. It should be equal to, we will not be taking into consideration lower one. That is a common sense, right? It will be equal to L cos. So this thing, if this is a triangle, if this is my L, this is my theta, this will be equal to L cos theta. So the vertical will be equal to L cos theta, that is L cos 60 is 1 by 2, L cos theta into rho. Now which fluid is this? This fluid is this. This fluid will go, right? So it is 2 into 1000 into 9.81. So 9.81, 9.81, 9.81, and it will be divided by 100 also because it is in meters. So it is 100, 100, 100. If you solve it, you will be getting, so it is 1000, 1000 and 1000 here, okay. 1000 also got cancelled out. It will be equal to 4 plus 4, and that 2 will get cancelled out, 2 will get cancelled out. So it will be equal to 4 plus 4, so 8 centimeter. So 8 centimeter will be equal to L. So 8 centimeter is the correct answer to this question. Very easy question, right? Not a difficult question. Apart from it, we have also received one more question. So a fixed plate was given, some fluid was moving with some velocity, okay. Now let me draw this question also. And if you have any more question asked from this particular topic, that is mathematics and fluid mechanics, kindly put it in the comment section. We will be solving that also. So one more question was from the fluid mechanics. There was a fixed surface. Okay. This velocity, this is case number 1. Let us say this is case number 1. In students are saying that it was given experiment. So experiment or case, whatever, right? Case number 1. So velocity at first case is 2 meter per second, okay, and the shear stress was given in this case as, that is tau 1 is given as 2 Newton per meter square or pascals. In the second case, that is case number 2, again you have a fixed surface and you have some fluid here, and this fluid is now moving with some velocity, that is V2, that is 1 meter per second, okay, and tau 2 in this case is given as 3 Newton per meter square. This gap in the first case it was 1 mm, and in the second case the gap is 0.25 mm. So you have to find which type of fluid it is. That is what you have to find. Again, very easy question, dear students. If it is a Newtonian fluid, we know that for Newtonian fluid is tau is equal to mu into du by dy. That is what we know. If it is a non-Newtonian fluid, it can be a you can say dilatant, it can be a pseudoplastic, right, etc, etc. So for non-Newtonian fluid, we have the apparent viscosity. So tau is given by mu into du by dy raised to the power n for the non-Newtonian fluid. If n is less than 1, pseudoplastic, n is greater than 1, that is dilatant. Okay. This can also be written as tau is equal to mu into du by dy raised to the power n minus 1 into du by dy. And this du by dy is equal to d theta by dt, the rate of change of shear strain, right? And this thing can be written as eta. Eta is the apparent viscosity. So for non-Newtonian fluid, you can say that tau is equal to eta and du by dy. So for the first case, how much is this tau? Tau is given as 2 for case number 1, right? This is my case number 1. Tau is 2. Eta, I don't know how much is this eta is, right? Let us say it is case number 1, eta 1. Eta 1. Du, change in velocity, that is, it is moving with 2, it is rigid, so its velocity is 0. So 2 minus 0, du is 2 minus 0 divided by this gap, that is, in mm it is given, so meter it will be 10 raised to power minus 3 meter. Okay, this one will be. How much will be this eta 1? So eta 1 will be equal to 2 will get cancelled out, only 10 raised to power minus 3. 10 raised to power minus 3 Newton second per meter square. And what is the value of du by dy coming here? Du by dy will be equal to 2 into 10 raised to power, right? 2 into 10 raised to power 3. Du by dy coming here is 2 into 10 raised to power 3. Second inverse. So this is the case number 1 solved. Now let us go to the case number 2. Case number 2. What is the case number 2? Again the same thing is given. So it is 3 will be equal to eta 2, okay, and this is du by dy, that is du is 1 minus 0 divided by dy is 0.25 into minus 3 in meter. So if you solve it, it will be equal to 25 into 3, that will be 0.75. So 0.75 eta 2. This will be equal to eta 2, and in this case this du by dy will come out to be equal to 1 divided by 0.5 is 4 into 10 raised to power 3. This will be du by dy in second inverse, and this will be in Newton second per meter square. So we have got these two values. Now let us draw a graph. If you remember, dear students, in class also I told you that the apparent viscosity, and in class I told you about the pseudoplastic itself, right? The apparent viscosity for the pseudoplastic, if you draw the graph, this is, let us say, eta, and this is your d theta by dt, or which is equal to du by dy. If you draw the graph between the shear rate, you will be getting the graph somewhat like this, and it is a linear graph between 10 second inverse to 100 second inverse, if you remember. Now let us look at this. Let us draw on the x-axis du by dy. So du by dy in the first case is 2 into 10 raised to power 3, and let us say it is 10 raised to power 3 you are putting. So it will be 2 here. So here it will be 2, and for 2 the value of eta you are getting it as 10 raised to power minus 3. Let us say eta is 10 raised to power minus 3. It means that 1 into 10 raised to power minus 3. So it will be equal to 1 somewhere here. So here it is. That is 10 comma 1 is the ordinate of this. Next. Case number 2, eta 2 is 0.75. 0.75 means it is decreasing. So decreasing means that if it is 1 here, if this is 1 here, 0.75 will be somewhere here. So this will be 0.75, and du by dy is 4. 4 into 10 raised to power 3, 4. So it means that this ordinate will be 4 comma 0.75. So you will find that it is actually decreasing, and decreasing means it is a pseudoplastic. Pseudoplastic. If the graph would have been somewhat like this, it would have been a dilatant. But now it is not increasing, it is decreasing. You can also see from the rheological behavior also, pseudoplastic goes like this, dilatant goes like this, okay. So for this the value of n is greater than 1, n is less than 1, all these things we have already done. So actually this question will be a pseudoplastic. Next question, apart from it, that we have received from you, yeah, this question, actually you can solve this question either you can say with the help of maths also you can solve this question. I told you about the solenoidal vectors also. With the help of that also you can solve it, or with the help of the concept of fluid mechanics also you can solve this question. Whatever you want to whatever you want to solve. The question is, some velocity profile is given to you and you have to find the value of some unknown which was c. You have to find the value of that unknown is. The question was, velocity profile was given to you, that is 5x square y I cap plus cy j cap minus 10 xyz k cap. And it was given that okay. So what do you have to find? You have to find the value of this C. And it was given a type of flow. So I told you that if it is a flow, it has to follow the continuity equation. It has to follow the continuity equation. Okay, some people are saying some flow was mentioned, some people are saying the rotational thing was mentioned. If it is a flow, it has to follow the continuity equation. If it will follow the continuity equation, we know that that is dou u by dou x plus dou w. In 3 dimension, it should be equal to 0. With the help of this, you can easily solve it. So this thing is my u, this thing is my v scalar component, this thing is my z scalar component in the z direction. So dou u by dou x will be equal to 5 into 2 is 10. So 10 xy, dou v by dou y will be equal to plus c, and dou w by dou z will be equal to minus 10 xy will be equal to 0. So this gets cancelled out from here. So c will be equal to 0. This was the value of c. Easy question, right? Apart from it, we have received one more question. The data is although not clear, but the concept is very easy. One more question that we have received is that, so some graph was mentioned in the question, okay, and on the y-axis it was the pressure in pascals, and on the x-axis it was the length. X-axis it was the length in meters, I guess. In meters it was given. Some values were mentioned. So here the value was of pressure was 1205. Okay, here it was 1152. Here it was 1117, 1112, not 7, 1112. Here the value was 1074. Here the value was 1034. Here the value was 1000. So you have different values. In this question, what you have to do is that you have to find the value of the fanning friction factor. So if you remember the Darcy-Weisbach equation, the head loss, it is given by del P divided by rho G, it is equal to 4 CFL V square divided by 2 into G into D. And I told you that this 4 CF is the Darcy friction factor F, and this CF is the fanning friction factor. CF is the fanning friction factor, which is also called as the coefficient of friction, right? For some values it is equal to, right? But generally we take it as equal to. For other values, for turbulent flow and for other types of flows, this value might also change, right? But generally we take this CF is equal to the fanning friction factor. Fanning friction factor. This is the fanning friction factor. And in question it was mentioned that a fully developed laminar flow. Fully developed laminar flow. So what is the meaning of fully developed laminar flow? Let me rub this. The meaning of fully developed laminar flow is that when the fluid just enters a particular pipe, so boundary layer is formed from here also, and from here also the boundary layer is formed. But after a certain distance, right, it follows a parabolic velocity profile distribution. Here the velocity profile was like this, here it was like this, right? But after some distance, and here also it was like this, here also it was like this, and after some time it follows a parabolic profile distribution, and this type of flow is called as a fully developed laminar flow. Now how to solve it? See students, This value was also given. So what was the value? The value was, just wait a second, I had this values also. The value was these were the values, 0 to 1 meter. This was given as 1 meter. This was given as 2 meter. This was for 3 meter. This was for 4 meter. This was for 5 meter. And this was for 6 meters. So for a fully developed laminar flow, we have to get this value. Clear? For a fully developed laminar flow, we have to get this value. So this question can be solved by two methods. Two methods. Now what is the first method? That for every pressure change, you calculate the value of the CF. And then you will see after what point it has become actually constant. For example, you get the pressure change at this point. In this point, you get the pressure change, right? So how much is this? So first of all, let me further solve this thing, right? So that is del P divided by rho into G, that is 4, that is CF, or the fanning friction factor, into L into V square divided by 2 into G into D, right? So this is G got cancelled out, okay? Apart from it, this 2 and 2 got cancelled out. So you will be getting the CF will be equal to del P, right, into D divided by 2 into rho into L into V square. And in question, the diameter and the velocity was also given to you. So the diameter was, let me check it, the question further, let me further check the question. Yeah, the diameter was given to you as 10 centimeter. The diameter of the pipe was 10 centimeter. And the velocity was 0.5 meter per second. So these were the two things which were given in the question. So diameter can also be further be written as 0.1 meter also. Because everything is in SI units, so it can be written as 0.1 meter also. So one method is that for every consecutive change, because here the length will be 2 minus 1 meter. For this particular drop, the length will be equal to 3 minus 2. For this particular drop, the length will be equal to 4 minus 3. For this particular drop, the length will be 5 minus 4 and so on. So for every particular drop, you will be getting some value of this coefficient of friction or the fanning friction factor. Clear? So that is number one method. Now what will happen is that, let us say that suppose that for this you are getting it as 0.7, for this you are getting it as 0.6, for this 0.5 and so on. After some time it will become constant. Because after some time you will be getting the value of the fanning friction factor as constant. For this particular zone you are getting it as constant. That is number one method. Number two method might be a short method that just calculate for this thing. Because you know that after some time, as the length is increasing, it has to be a fully developed laminar flow. If it is a fully developed laminar flow, then just calculate del P. Let us say it is del 1000. So CF will be equal to del P. Del P will be equal to 1034 minus 1000, okay, multiplied by the diameter, that is 0.1, divided by 2 into density is 1000 into length. Length is how much for this? 6 minus 5, that is 1 meter. Right, multiplied by velocity square, that is 0.5 square. Okay, if you solve it, you will be getting, so 34 into 0.1 divided by 2 divided by 1000 divided by 0.5 square, you will be getting nearly, let me check it further. So it is del P, right? Is the value same? Is the value same? Yes. So nearly 0.007 something, right? 0.007 something, 0.0079 something, 0.0079 something, right? That is what I am getting, 0.0079 something. If the values are okay, Again, it is a memory based question, the values might change. So whatever the data that we have received till now, with the help of that we are getting these values, okay? So that the data might also change. Let me further cross check the data. So it is 1037, I guess. It is 1037, I guess. Not this. It is 1037, I guess. It will be 37 multiplied by 0.1 divided by 2 divided by 1000 divided by 0.5 square will be equal to nearly 0.0074. 0.0074. Okay, that is what it is. Or you can do it by this method. Calculate for this, for this, for this, for this, for this. After some time it will become constant. That will ultimately come out to be this. Or short method is just directly calculate for this change. For this thing you just directly calculate. That will also be equal to nearly that. Okay, so these are the various you can say questions that we have received till now, and you know that the fanning friction factor can also be calculated with the help of the Moody's diagram also, that we have also discussed in the class, how you can calculate the fanning friction factor. So these are the various questions that we have received till now. If you have some question in the mind, that's this was also a question in the examination, just put it in the comment section and we will solve that question for you. Okay. And students, there was one more question from fluid mechanics. The question was from the turbulent flow kinetic energy factor and the momentum energy correction factor. So students, we also solved this in the class also. We also derived this equation in the class also. I told you that the value of alpha, that is the kinetic energy correction factor, because when we apply the Bernoulli's theorem, right, the velocity cannot be same everywhere. So there might be some, you can say, changes in the velocity, right? The velocity at this point is something, this point is something, this point is something. But we are taking it as the mean velocity. How is it possible? For that we apply the alpha, that is the kinetic energy correction factor. And I told you that it is equal to 2 for pipes, laminar flow in pipes. The value of beta, that is the momentum correction factor, that is equal to 4 by 3. 4 by 3. Okay, for laminar flow in pipes. And I also told you in class that sometimes it is a high possibility that there might be a question that in which you are asked the values of the alpha for turbulent flow. I told you in the class already, right? So if you remember, the value of this alpha for turbulent flow, it varies from 0.1 to 1.15, something like this. 1.15 nearly. It actually varies from flow to flow for turbulent flow. And I told you that for generally for calculation purpose, we take this alpha is equal to 1 for calculation purpose. So in examination there was a question, some very big velocity profile, V by Vf is equal to 5 raised to the power something n minus 1 upon n plus 2, something like that. If you will fall in trap of this equation, it will take a lot of time. I told you in the class directly, in question what you had to do is that you had to find the alpha for turbulent divide by the alpha for laminar. That is what you had to find in the exam. So what is the alpha for turbulent? I told you that for calculation purpose you take it as nearly equal to 1. If you take it as nearly equal to 1, the value for alpha is 2 for laminar flow divided by 2 will be equal to 0.5 directly. Otherwise you will fall in trap with this equation, right? I guess this n was given to you as 7 something. So this was the data that we have received till now. You just put the values, you will get the answer. It will take a lot of time. If you directly know these values, you can directly solve this question hardly in 10 seconds. So I hope students that you have understood that how these questions have to be solved. Again I am telling you, it was not a difficult paper, it was a moderate paper, a little bit conceptual paper, a little bit calculative paper, right? But it was not a difficult paper. Some students were saying sir, it is a difficult paper, it is not a difficult paper. So thank you everyone, thanks for watching. If you have any other question which you feel that sir this question was also there in the examination, put it in the comment box, we will solve that question also for you. Thank you.